Hi everybody, welcome to another hour of English classes here on verbling.com. My name is Lisa and I'm one of the English teachers here on verbling.com, and in this hour I'm going to be offering a reading class. So if you have a reservation for this class already, you can go ahead and use it now. You get to use your reservation in the first 2 minutes of every class. So here at Verbling, the classes begin on the hour, every hour. So every hour we usually have 1 or 2, sometimes 3 English classes going at the same time. We also have Spanish classes. And so if you are a member of verbling.com, then you can make a reservation for a class if you know you want to take a class at that time. Or you can just come by anytime you want and see what's available, see what's happening, what classes are coming up, and you can click on the Join Class button. You can see the cat back there. So yeah, so welcome everybody. Hi there. Nihan, look who's back.
Hi, Lisa.
Hi. So you were gone for a while.
Yeah, for
working.
for 10 days.
Yeah.
Different cities.
Uh-huh.
And I'm back this morning.
Yeah? Was it fun?
So. The pleasure part was fun, yeah.
Okay, good.
But the business part was tired.
Tiring, yeah. So is that your niece?
Yes.
In your picture?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes.
And how old is she?
She's 7 now.
Oh, okay. Fun. Do you get to see her a lot?
Yes. For evening, we were with her. And actually, I was really missed her.
Yeah.
It wasn't enough, but it was nice.
Yeah. She lives in a different town than you?
Yes, absolutely. Because I have one niece.
Yeah. Okay, well, welcome. Hi, Raphael. How are you?
Hi, Lisa.
Hi. So, what's happening with Carnival? Are you going to Carnival at all?
No, probably not this year. I have other plans for this carnival. I just stay home. A lot of friends invited me to go to parties and everything. So, but unfortunately, I can't this year. Probably next year, maybe.
Yeah. So I'm just curious, since you're living in Rio, even if you're at home, do you hear music and stuff going on, or is it in just one particular area of town?
No. There are several places in town where there are a lot of parties. So there's some groups of people go out in the street and like bands playing and everything. So it's interesting. It's fun.
Yeah. So have you heard some music?
Yes, lots of music, but exactly here where I live, there's no parties, but in other places there are several. There are so many.
Yeah, and I hear that there's the carnival is the big parade with all the different samba schools, and they're like going by, and so that takes a long time. Did that already happen?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's mostly.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are parades. There's samba schools, and there are also how can I say, the biggest parades. There were huge crowds of people in streets. Not exactly about samba schools, but
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. My cat wants me to keep petting her. Okay, hi, Faraz. How are you?
Hi, how are you, my teacher?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm good. And where are you from, Faraz?
I'm from Iraq.
Are you living in Iraq, or are you living somewhere else?
No, I'm living in Iraq.
Oh, okay, great. All right. Well, welcome.
Okay.
Okay, guys.
Welcome.
So we'll see if anybody else shows up. I kind of just picked up this class kind of last minute. I saw it was available. Chad is also teaching I think a vocabulary class or something like that. So if anybody shows up, they can join us. In the meantime, I have put the link already there, and I'm going to put the article in the screen share. I don't know if you guys had a chance yet to watch the trailer to this movie. Have you guys seen that at all?
I haven't seen it, but I watched the trailer.
You have before?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it wasn't on theaters now.
Right. Yeah, I think it's just coming out. It's not out still. It's
because
just,
the cast is really nice.
Uh-huh.
You know, the actors.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen it. Have you?
The movie?
Yeah.
No, it's not out yet still.
Okay.
I think it comes out like this week. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I've just seen the trailer. I've seen the trailer at the theater and also just watched it again on this YouTube link, which is right there. Maybe we should probably watch that before we read this, because that will help, because the article actually, talks about some parts of it, and it might be a little hard to understand. So let me just say hi. Hi, Andre. Is that your name? Is that how you say your name? I forgot, because it's in Russian. I don't know. But you just came in. So if you guys want to go and let's just take 2 minutes, because it's only 2 minutes. If you go click on that YouTube link and you can watch it, it's right here on this link. I can't show it over the Google Hangouts though. But if you can just go click on that and watch it, then we'll come back and we'll read the article. Is everybody okay with that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, Rafael. Firas?
Where is the link? Give me the link.
Yeah, do you see it in the verb link chat? If you click on that link, it'll open up a window for you. I can put it in the group chat also.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a short trailer.
Yeah, thanks. Okay.
guys done? Okay, are you done, Neha? Did you watch it? Okay.
Yes.
Raphael?
Yes, I'm going.
Okay. And for us, are you finished with it? Okay. All right. Well, we can start reading. Okay. So I chose this. Of course, there's always lots of different places where you can find different movie reviews, but I just chose this one. It comes from the Daily Beast. The Daily Beast does a lot of stuff on entertainment, movie industry stuff. So we'll just read this one, and it has quite a lot of vocabulary in it, actually, and so it's really good for new vocabulary, and maybe you already know some of it, but it's good stuff. So I thought it would be fun to read, and it does look like a fun movie. So we'll see. I guess because I'm not a big movie connoisseur, I don't know Wes Anderson, but I did see the Fantastic Mr. Fox. And so I guess the director, Wes Anderson, is quite famous, and he's also known as a pretty tough director who really knows exactly what he wants from his actors and the scenes and all of that. So we're going to learn a little bit more. Okay, great. You guys, we have 2 more people who came in. Sardar, hi there. Sardar? Sardar.
Hi.
Hi. Say it again, Neha. Sardar.
Yes, I am here.
Hi there. Welcome. Okay, I just wanted to welcome
Sardar.
you. Sardar. Okay, I do my best.
Yes.
Are you from Turkey?
Yes. Yes, of course.
Okay, great. And Andrew, are you there? I don't hear you. It must be something. Serdar with the R sound. Neha, rolling my R.
Yes.
Serdar.
Not to express.
Serdar.
Yeah.
Serdar.
Yeah.
Serdar. Okay, good. Thank you.
Yes. Great pronunciation.
Thank you. All right, so we're going to read this article now, and we're just getting started. The other students already watched the trailer to the movie, but you can do that later if you're interested. So now we'll go over the reading, and I read a little bit at a time, and then you'll have a chance to read, and then I'll go over some of this vocabulary, which may or may not be new to some of you, but will help everybody to understand what the article says. So the Grand Budapest Hotel, that's the name of the movie. The Grand Budapest Hotel Review. Wes Anderson's best ever is a whimsical crime caper. A delightful cast battles over a will and a stolen painting as a horde of pseudo-Nazis scour the mountains for fugitives. The Grand Budapest Hotel might be Wes Anderson's best film. So this is the title. This is actually the subtitle. And Raphael, why don't you start us off here, reading that part.
The Grand Budapest Hotel Review. Wes Anderson's best ever is a whimsical crime caper. A delightful cast battles over a will and a stolen painting as a horde of pseudo-Nazis scour the mountains for fugitives. The Grand Budapest Hotel might be Wes Anderson's best film.
So just a few words already in the title and the subtitle. A whimsical crime caper. So whimsical is describing the type of crime caper it is, and it's fun. So whimsical is not serious. So if you watch the trailer just now, you can see that it's kind of silly and funny. It's not like dark and mysterious and scary or anything like that. So whimsical is like fun. Crime caper. So if you watch the trailer, you also see that there's a crime that has been committed. So the caper is when you're trying to solve the crime. So it's a crime story. Trying to figure out who did what. So it's kind of a mystery, but fun, whimsical. A delightful cast. So the cast are the actors, the people playing the different characters, and they are delightful. So it's kind of a fun group of people, the characters, and they're battling over a will. So to battle over means to fight over. And the will is when you die, you leave a legal piece of paper, a will, that tells who gets what. So if you have money, maybe you leave your house to your kids, some money to your kids, maybe you have a special something that you leave to a friend. It tells who gets your stuff, basically. That's what a will is. And so they're fighting over that and a stolen painting. As a horde of pseudo-Nazis, so a horde is like a group, so a group of fake Nazis, we could say, scour, that means they look all over the place looking for the fugitives. Fugitives are, supposed criminals, people you're chasing to try to capture, to try to catch. So they're scouring the mountains looking for, so they're you can also say combing the mountains or, searching the mountains. You're going everywhere looking for these escaped people who you're trying to catch to take to jail. They're fugitives. They're on the run, you say. All right, this might just be Wes Anderson's best film. It's certainly his most thrilling. The cult director has bolstered the whimsical humor and trademark character studies with a raucous crime caper in the Grand Budapest Hotel, and it's a riot. Set in the fictional European land of Zubrowka, shortly before the Second World War, a delightful cast of characters battle it out over a disputed will and a stolen oil painting as a horde of pseudo-Nazis scour the mountains in search of fugitives. Okay, Nihan, why don't you read those two paragraphs?
This might just be Wes Anderson's best film. It's certainly his most thrilling. The cult director has bolstered the whimsical humor and trademark character studies with a raucous crime caper in the Grand Budapest Hotel, and it's a riot. Set in the fictional European land of Zubrowka, shortly before the Second World War, a delightful cast of characters battle it out over a dispute will and a stolen oil painting as a horde of pseudo-Nazis scour the mountains in search of fugitives.
Mm-hmm. So this one you pronounce as scour.
Scour.
Yeah, like hour.
Okay.
That would be hour, but scour. All right. Okay. So that's pretty amazing. They're calling it his best film, so that's always interesting when they say that about a director. It's surely his most thrilling. Thrilling just means exciting. So lots of fun stuff going on, and you feel excited as a audience person watching it. The cult director. So this is referring to Wes Anderson, the director, and he's known as a cult director based on his movies that he's made before and the cult of people around him. So there are certain people who really, really love his movies. So a cult is like a group of people that kind of worship something, usually like somebody, like a personality perhaps, or like sometimes in a religious community they worship some minister or preacher or something like that. So that's what a cult is, a group of people. It doesn't include like everybody in the world. It's like a specific group. So he's kind of known as that. He has his followers, we could say. And he has bolstered the whimsical humor. So this, you got to kind of read it all together to understand it. Bolstered the whimsical humor. So to bolster means to give it more emphasis and more importance. So he's kind of to take it to the next level, kind of. So he's done an even better job of creating whimsical humor, so some fun comedy, something that's silly and just fun to watch, and also his trademark character studies. So trademark means it's like known, he is known to do it. So you can trademark your brand, your specific products. You can even trademark certain sayings, things like this. But in this case, it means that he has certain types of character studies that he does in movies. So he's done that again, is basically what they're saying. And though these character studies is like each character you get to know a little bit more about, and they're very unique and different. Okay, so those are two things that he's done in this movie. And it's turned out that it's a raucous crime caper. Raucous means loud and noisy and like you're having a good time, you know. So it's, if you watch the trailer, you can see that's kind of crazy. Lots of silly stuff going on. And it's a riot. So a riot, you might know, is when there's a riot and the police come, it's a big fight. But in this case, a riot means it's funny. So if you call something like a movie a riot, or maybe you call a comedian, oh, he's such a riot, or it was such a riot, the show was such a riot. I mean, it was just so funny. It's just to describe how funny something was, and you really enjoyed it. So that's what they're describing the movie as, very funny. They're battling it out, so we heard that in the subtitle up there. They're fighting over a disputed will. So the disputed mean that people don't agree. So when somebody dies, they leave a will, and sometimes family members fight over the will, like, you know, no, he said he was going to leave me this, and no, I was supposed to get it. That's a dispute. They're fighting over this will. So that's kind of the setting for the story. It is fast-paced and funny, but it's also a compelling exploration of storytelling. As the narrative unfolds through a series of flashbacks, we see the way great stories are passed through the generations while the physical world fades and crumbles. At the center of the movie is the Grand Budapest Hotel, in its heyday, one of Europe's great establishments. It is brought to life in vivid colors and a series of head-spinning set pieces filmed in the small German town of Görlitz. Okay, so we have two paragraphs there. Elias, why don't you read those?
Hi.
Yeah. Hi, Elias. Did you see where we are? We're right here at where it says, it is fast-paced.
Okay. It is fast-paced and funny, but it is also a compelling exploration of storytelling as the narrative unfolds through a series of flashbacks. We see the way great stories are passed through the generation while the physical world fades and crumbles. At the center of the movie is the Grand Budapest Hotel. Its heyday, one of Europe's great establishments. It is brought to life in vivid colors and a series of head-spinning set pieces filmed in the small German town of Görlitz.
Uh-huh.
Artists plays Mr.
Wait, stop there. We're just going to read a little bit at a time. Yeah. So the movie is fast-paced. So the pace is like, how is it going along? And so it's fast. As you saw in the trailer, lots of things are happening very quickly. They're talking pretty quickly in some places. There's people running all around. So it's very fast-paced and funny. But at the same time, it's a compelling exploration of storytelling. Compelling is interesting. It makes you want to know more about it. And so the movie itself explores the whole idea of telling a story. You know, what is it like to tell a story? So as the narrative is the story. The guy is narrating the story. So there's a person, a character, I think it was the bellboy, he's narrating or telling the story. And as it unfolds, so the way you tell a story, like one thing happens after the other, that's called how it unfolds. So to unfold is the verb, and it means how you learn a little bit at a time. You don't know the whole story just from the first sentence. You have to, you know, what's next, what's next, what's next. That's unfolding. And the way that the story is unfolded or told is through a series of flashbacks. So it's going back in time. So you know how movies do that. You're like right now, present time, but then you flash back to when you were 10, and then when you were 15. So that's how the story is being told. And so he's just saying that that's the way great stories are passed through the generations, while the physical world fades. So to fade away means like it's not so important. Now you're just
Die
in
down.
this.
It's
Yeah.
die down.
Right. It goes. Yeah. Like lights. Yeah, they can go down. You fade the lights, but the physical world fades away and crumbles. It falls apart. So then you're just left with the story of what's happening, the action and stuff. So at the center of the movie is the Grand Budapest Hotel in its heyday. So when you say in its heyday, it means when it was the most popular time. So
The golden day.
the golden days, yeah, the good old days or something like that. Yeah, the time when the Grand Budapest Hotel was very popular, and it was known as one of Europe's great establishments. This time period is brought to life. So we see it brought to life in the movie, meaning we see it in the time period, and Wes Anderson, the director, chooses vivid colors and a series of head-spinning set pieces. So vivid means like bright colors. Very, it's not just muted colors like some browns, but if you saw the trailer, you see purples and pinks and reds. They're very vivid. So the color is really important in this movie as well. And then the sets. So set pieces, that means the stuff that you see in each scene. So it might be the tables, the chairs, the furniture, the costumes, and everything that goes together as on the set, all the things they use. Those are also pretty amazing in terms of their color and styling and everything. So the movie was actually filmed in this small German town. It's all make-believe. It's not based on anything true, so it's just a story. Ralph Fiennes plays M. Gustav. I don't know if that sounds for Monsieur or something, but M. Gustav, the Grand Budapest's conductor, and one of the hotel industry's finest concierges, even if he does say so himself. Described as the most liberally perfumed man I've ever encountered, he is suave and knowledgeable, but also desperately flawed, constantly spraying on more of his l'air de panache and paying a little too much attention to the older female guests. He claims his only worthwhile possession is a set of ivory hairbrushes. Okay. Firas? Starting with Ralph Fiennes.
Okay. Ralph Fiennes plays Mr. Gustav, the Grand Budapest's conductor and one of the hotel industry's finest concierges, even if he does say so himself. Described as the most liberally performed man I have every encountered. He is suave and knowledgeable, but also desperately flawed, constantly separating on more of his layer deep bench and paying a little too much attention to the older female guests. He claims his only weatherable possession is a set of ivory hair brushes.
Good. So, one of the things you can do on Google is if you ever want to see like the cast and who these people are, the actors, you can just type in like cast and then whatever the movie is, and then it comes up here at the top. You can also search on IMDb or something, but this is who they're talking about. So for you guys who watched the trailer, this is the actor Ralph Fiennes. I don't know how you say his name, Fiennes or Fiennes. Anyways, and these are the other people. So Bill Murray and all these different people have roles in the movie. Some have bigger roles, and some have really just short roles, brief appearances. Okay, so the Grand Budapest conductor. So he's kind of like the head of the hotel. A conductor, often we use that word with, like if you drive a train or a bus or something like that. But in this article, this author used it to just mean he's conducting all the stuff that's happening in the Budapest hotel. A conductor is also somebody who manages an orchestra, the person who's standing in the front of the orchestra and conducting the music score, telling everybody, their parts and everything. And the concierge, that's, yeah? You have a question?
Can we also call the conductor as director?
Yeah, the director. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there's lots of different words to use in different situations. So a director of an orchestra, a conductor, yeah. And the concierge is kind of another word. It's a French word, but it's the same. A hotel concierge is the person who helps you. When you come to the hotel, they're the people, there might be more than one in a hotel, and they help you, go to your room, get what you need. They take care of you. So in this part here, here's a little phrase, even if he says so, if he does say so himself. So that kind of means like he's arrogant. He's very, if you saw the trailer, you can see his personality. He's very well-groomed and, like it says here, liberally perfumed. So he smells like perfume because he puts a lot on. So if you put a liberal amount, it means a lot. He puts a lot of perfume on, and so he thinks highly of himself. So if you want to use that phrase sometime, you could say something like, for example, if you just made dinner and maybe it was your first time and you cooked chicken or something like that, you could say to other people, hey, the chicken is pretty good, isn't it? He said, you could say, if I do say so myself. So it means like I think it is, So you kind of give yourself credit for that. If I do say so myself. All right, so encountered means to come across. So he's the most liberally perfumed or kind of perfume-smelling person that somebody has met. He's suave. That means he's very cool. He's stylish. He's very good with his being polite, and he just got a cool personality. But he also is desperately flawed. So it means he has problems. He has some problems. I think from the trailer, we have to guess what happens, but it looks like he's maybe taking money from the guests. We don't know, something like that. So your flaws are like your weaknesses, the things you do badly. L'air de panache, that's kind of a joke. Panache is just like stylish, the kind of style that you have. So he's always spraying on more of that might be his perfume. But and he pays a lot of attention, or too much attention, to the older female guests. So we also see in the trailer that he seems to have had relationships with older females, if you guys understood that part. And he claims to say his only worthwhile possession, so the only thing he owns that is worth anything, is a set of ivory hair brushes. We don't really know what this means because we'll have to find out watching the movie. Ivory is, what you take from the elephant's tusks. So it's not a good thing nowadays, but it's something that in the past people, it was very valuable. So he has some hair brushes. Fiends excels as his fearsome and persnickety character trains up a new lobby boy who becomes a cherished protege and partner in crime. Their life and death escapades are filmed in a glorious, tongue-in-cheek style, reminiscent of the Coen brothers' comic action sequences. Sometimes they even evoke the stop-motion animation of Anderson's Fantastic Mr. Fox. Okay. Sardar? You can unmute your microphone.
Yes, I'm here.
Great. You want to read that paragraph right there for us?
Okay. Okay. Penis excels as his fearsome and persnickety character trains up a new lobby boy who becomes a cherished touch and partner in crime. Their life and death escapades are filmed in a glorious tongue-in-cheek style reminiscent of the Coen brothers' comic action sequence. Sometimes they even evoke the stop-motion animation of Anderson's Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Great. So Fiends excels, so he does well. To excel at something means you do a good job at it. And so he does a good job with his character. Fearsome and persnickety. I think you guys, fearsome, he's not afraid, and although he is kind of afraid. And persnickety character. Persnickety means you're very picky. You're very choosy. You don't like everything. You like only certain things. You're a persnickety person. And what he's doing in the film is training up a new lobby boy who becomes a cherished protege. So your protege is the person who you train, and they're going to maybe take over your position in the future. So he is a cherished. That means loved. You really like somebody, you cherish them, you love them. But he's also his new partner in crime. So they're working together. What we're watching in the film is their life and death escapades. So an escapade is like an adventure. So they're adventures, and they are filmed in a glorious, so glorious means wonderful, fantastic, amazing, tongue-in-cheek style. So tongue-in-cheek, actually you could put your tongue in your cheek. It means like you're joking. So it's not serious. It's a joke, or it's not really sarcastic, but it's just funny. It's not true. It's not dramatic, Reminiscent of. So if something is reminiscent of, it means it reminds you. So this is a tongue-in-cheek style that reminds viewers of maybe how the Coen brothers, so two other directors, do their comic action sequences. So when you watch a movie by the Coen brothers, they have a certain style where they, of comedy, and so it's kind of reminiscent of that. So it reminds the viewers about that. It also can evoke, which means to make you think about something. It makes you think of the stop motion animation. So that's a style of animation. If you saw Mr. Fantastic Mr. Fox, then you know what they're talking about. So it comes up. In fact, in another article I read that he actually animated this whole movie before he made it with real people. So that's kind of an interesting technique that he uses. Willem Dafoe is disturbing and funny as the deadly enforcer to Adrian Brody's simpering baddie. With terrible teeth, a full fist of vast signet rings, and trousers that are far too short, Dafoe makes one of the great henchmen, complete with a stiff black leather coat that is destined to become a classic. Okay, Raphael. Right there.
Willem Dafoe is disturbing and funny as the deadly enforcer to Adrian Brody's simpering baddie. With terrible teeth, a full fist of vast signet rings, and trousers that are far too short, Dafoe makes one of the great henchmen, complete with a stiff black leather coat that is destined to become a classic.
Okay, disturbing and funny. So disturbing means like it kind of makes you feel like, oh, it disturbs you, it bothers you, it's not fun. So his character is disturbing and funny at the same time. So he's kind of violent. As you saw in the trailer, he's the one who knocks the guy out, and then you turn around and you see that he had these rings on. So that's the character that they're talking about. He's a deadly enforcer. So the enforcer is the one who is going to punish people. They're the ones who are going to enforce the rule or the law. But in this case, it's like on the opposite. It's the bad guy. So he's going to hurt people that don't, do what they're supposed to do. Adrian Brody's character, that's another actor. He's a simpering baddie. Simpering means kind of a suspicious smile. He's smiling, but he's a bad guy. A baddie is like he's the bad character in the film, the villain. And then this just means he has a lot, vast signet rings. So those are the rings on his fingers that he knocks you out with. Okay, and then he goes on to describe a little bit more. So, like, his pants or his trousers are far too short, and he has a black leather jacket even, which is destined to become a classic. So it just means like he will be remembered as a classic bad guy, a henchman. A henchman is the guy who actually does the violence. You know, like you have two bad guys. One is the Godfather, and then the henchman is the person who actually does the violence. So that's what his character's playing. This being a Wes Anderson movie, every member of the ensemble cast style is imbued with enough depth to inspire a wry smile or a laugh. In fact, this is pretty much the same ensemble cast Anderson always uses, but with even more talent this time, adding Fiennes, Saoirse Ronan, and Jude Law to the usual roster of Bill Murray, Owen Wilson, and Jason Schwartzman. Okay, Nihan.
This being a Wes Anderson movie, every member of the ensemble cast style is imbued with enough depth to inspire a wry smile, or how can I pronounce it?
Wry smile, wry.
Wry smile or a laugh. In fact, this is pretty much the same as ensemble cast Anderson always uses, with which even more talent this time, adding Fiennes, Saoirse Ronan, and Jude Law to the usual roster of Bill Murray, Owen Wilson, and Jason Schwartzman.
Yeah. So this being, because it is, that's what that means, because it is a Wes Anderson movie, every member, so every person in the ensemble cast style, so some movies, they just star certain people, but an ensemble cast means that there are lots of characters that are important. Of course, there's a couple of main ones, but the movie is really made up of some important characters. So they are imbued with. So it means they have. If you imbue something with something, it means you put it inside of them. So each character has inside of them enough depth. So enough interesting stuff about the character to inspire, to make us want to kind of, a wry smile means you're not really smiling big, but your lip goes up a little bit. You kind of just think, that's kind of funny. Or you might actually laugh, laugh out loud, for example. So that's what makes the movie fun is, each character, they have a little silly thing that they're doing, and some of them are really funny. But they have depth. They're not just shallow or inconsequential, so that each character has a certain thing that's interesting about them. And apparently, I didn't know this because I don't know much about Wes Anderson, but I guess he uses a lot of the same people in his movies, but they're just mentioning that he's adding these new actors and the usual roster. The roster is like the list of something. So in this case, the list of actors that he uses, Bill Murray, Owen Wilson, and Jason Schwartzman, have been in some of his other movies. Tilda Swinton, another actress, makes a spectacular attempt to steal the show as an 84-year-old dowager who falls in love with Fiennes' concierge. Ed Norton, another Wes Anderson alumnus, is wonderfully campy as a commander in the ZZ, which stands for zigzag in Zubrowka, rather than Nazi Germany's Schutzstaffel. Schutzstaffel. Okay, Elias. Elias? I hear something, but I don't hear your voice. Elias? Are you there? Okay, maybe he stepped away. Sardar, do you want... Oh, yes, you're here. I don't hear you, Elias. Does anybody else?
Elias.
You hear him? Oh, he dropped. Okay. Connection problem. Sardar, do you want to read that?
Yes, I can carry on actually.
Okay, go for
Okay.
it. Thank you.
Tilda Swinton. Okay. Tilda Swinton makes a spectacular attempt to steal the show as an 84-year-old dowager who falls in love with Fiennes, con concierge. Ed Norton, another Wes Anderson alumnus, is wonderfully campy as a commander in the ZZ, which stands for Zigzag in Zbroka rather than Nazi Germany's Schutzstaffel.
So Tilda Swinton. So let's see if this person right here, Tilda Swinton. She's the person who plays an 84-year-old dowager. So she attempts, or she tries. Attempt means to try to steal the show. So to steal the show means to have be the best actor in the show or the best actress, to be the person who's the most interesting in the movie. So she tries to do that. She does a good job. That's what spectacular means. She does has a great attempt to be a dowager. A dowager is like a widow, or and usually a dowager, I think, also has a lot of money. They're a widow who owns a lot of something, wealth, money, property, stuff. So she falls in love with Fiennes's concierge, Ed Norton. So he's kind of just telling us some of these actors' names. He's another character, and he's another Wes Anderson alumnus. Alumnus means he has been in his other movies before. You also use the word alumnus when you went to a university. Then you are the alumnus of that university. That means you graduated from that school. He is wonderfully campy. Campy means like outrageous. He's just over the top the way he's being his character. And so he's a commander in the ZZ. So instead of the SS, which would be the real Nazi equivalent, it stands for zig-zag. So when you zig and zag, it means you run to the right and then you run to the left and then you run to the right. That's called zigging and zagging. And so they're making a comedy about this. So it's kind of a spoof. Instead of the SS, which is the Schutzstaffel, which is you guys probably know about the German military and the SS. And they're calling it the ZZ. So that's another part that makes it silly and funny. The entire fantastical caper begins with Tom Wilkinson playing the author of a book called The Grand Budapest Hotel, who claims that the best stories are not dreamed up in the heads of authors. He looks into the camera and explains, once the public knows you're a writer, they bring the characters and the stories to you. Okay, Ilyas, you want to try your mic now?
Do you hear me now?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Good. Yeah, that one right there.
The entire fantastical caper begins with Tom Wilkinson playing the author of a book called The Grand Budapest Hotel, who claims the best stories are not dreamed up in the heads of others. He looks into the camera and explains, once the public knows you are a writer, they bring the character and the stories to you.
Good. So the entire fantastical caper, so the whole movie basically, the whole caper, the whole adventure, this crime caper, starts off with or begins with another character, other actor, Tom Wilkinson, and his role is the author of this book. And so he kind of starts narrating or telling the story. And he claims, so he says, that the best stories are not dreamed up in the heads of authors. So authors actually don't just imagine their stories or dream them up. He says, as he looks into the camera, or he explains, he tells, to explain means this is how you do something, you're explaining to somebody how something is working. He says, once the people know that you're a writer, they bring the characters and the stories to you. So basically, the way I understand that is an author doesn't have to make up stories. You can just look at life, and all the stories will come to you when you're watching people live their life. Anderson rewinds a generation, and we find the writer as a young man staying at the near-deserted Grand Hotel Budapest, decades after its illustrious peak. It is here that he is regaled with the tale we are about to watch unfold. The aging hotel owner orders a lavish meal for the writer and explains, "That should provide us ample time if I commence promptly." Okay, Raphael?
Anderson rewinds a generation, and we find the writer as a young man, staying at a near-deserted Grand Hotel Budapest, decades after its illustrious peak. It is here that he is regaled with the tale we are about to watch unfold. The Asian hotel owners orders a lavish meal for the writer and explains, "That should provide us ample time if I commence promptly."
Good. So Anderson, so the director, Wes Anderson, rewinds a generation. So he goes back in time. So this is the idea of the flashback. So when you rewind the tape or you rewind the show, you're going back in time. And we find the writer as a young man. So this author who wrote the book, he's a young man staying at the near deserted. So deserted means like nobody is there. So nearly nobody, like hardly anybody is at the hotel right now. And this is decades after its illustrious peak, so its heyday, another name for when it had its grand time, when it was very popular. So illustrious is like famous peak, the highest point that it was. It is here that he is regaled with the tale. So it is at this time, yeah?
Entertained with the tale.
Yeah, he is regaled. Yeah, where somebody is telling him. So the guy who owns the hotel is now going to tell him the story, the tale. So he's been given this story. And then we, as the audience, it's the story that we're going to watch unfold. So the story that this author is being told by the hotel owner took place several decades earlier in time. And so now the hotel owner is aging, so he's older now. And so he orders a lavish meal. Lavish means fancy, like a lot of stuff. So he gives it to the author, and then he says, "That should provide us ample time." So you're going to have a lot of food to eat, which should give us plenty of time or lots of time if I start right now. So if I commence is to start promptly, right away. If I do it like right now, we should have enough time for me to tell you the whole story while you're eating this lavish meal. The conceit allows Anderson to muse on the question of storytelling and movie making, which he previously delved into with the campfire stories read aloud in Moonrise Kingdom. Come for the exploration of narrative form, stay for the hilarious romp. Okay, Nihan?
The conceit allows Anderson to muse on the question of storytelling and movie making, which he previously delved into with the campfire stories read aloud in the Moonrise Kingdom. Come for the exploration of narrative form, stay for the hilarious romp.
Yeah. Okay, so I wrote it over here. Conceit in this sentence is actually referring to a certain way of writing, a fanciful expression or a long speech. So the long storytelling, or the speech that the owner is telling the author, is allowing Anderson, the director, to muse on the question of storytelling. To muse on something means to talk about it a lot, to kind of be like a philosopher and go on and delve into the question of storytelling and movie making. So to kind of just talk about it and consider different aspects of it, and this is something he did previously, so in another film prior to this one, and he delved into this same musing or this same kind of conversation about storytelling and movie making when he did the campfire stories, so stories that you tell around a campfire. that were read aloud in his movie Moonrise Kingdom, which I did not see, but was also given a lot of accolades, we say, when people like it. So a lot of people liked that movie. So the final sentence here, the reviewer says, "Come for the exploration of narrative form." So come and, to watch this unfolding of this story and how a story is told, but stay for the hilarious romp. So stay because it's very funny. So hilarious means, really laugh out loud, funny, and a romp is like an adventure. Or you say we go through a romp in the park. It's just a fun time. So you're going to have a good time, basically, when you see this movie, when you watch this movie. Okay, guys, we have just a couple minutes. What do you guys think about? Is it something you might want to see or not? Nihan, are you going to watch this movie?
I would.
Sardar, you can speak too.
I would like to ask about pronunciation of desert. You said, I think, dessert like this, but dessert, I think, is sweet eatings.
Okay, this
How
is
can
the
we
word
pronounce desert?
desert. There's two words.
Yeah.
Desert. That's desert with one S. Dessert is with two S's.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh. Yep. And you can remember that because there's an easy thing. You always want two helpings of dessert. So you have two S's. And a desert has just one S. But yes, it's two different spellings and two different pronunciations. Okay, what were you saying? You're tired? Oscar ceremonies. Yes. Okay, guys. Does anybody have any other questions? Raphael, you want to say anything? What do you think about it? Or Nihan, you guys are quiet today.
Yes, we are tired, maybe.
You're tired. Have you been having...
I was on the way till morning because I didn't use plane or something.
Yeah.
I got back here with car.
Mm-hmm.
I was really tired. I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't sleep yet. Yeah.
Oh, you haven't slept yet? Wow. What time is it?
It's early, 11. Yeah,
11. Oh, okay. Wow.
But I missed your classes.
I know. That's one of the reasons why I decided to take this class. I thought maybe you would show up because you haven't been around. So I'm glad you're back, but you need to go to sleep. Yeah. Okay, guys. Well, I know this one was a little bit hard, but you got exposed to some words. Some of these words aren't used a lot per se, but a lot of them are, especially when you're talking about stories, movies. That's a good thing when you go beyond just reading news articles. You get into some different language, just like in your own language. When you talk about fiction versus nonfiction, you have different vocabulary words that describe things more, like desperately flawed and suave, and these kinds of words are there when you're reading more about fiction and stories and things like that. So I don't know. It looks like a fun movie to me. So I think I'm gonna go see it.
your style, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. It's not. Nothing to think about.
And great cinematography. And
and funny characters. Yeah. Okay, guys, take care, and maybe I'll see you later. Okay, bye. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye. And I'm back this morning.
Yeah? Was it fun?
So. The pleasure part was fun, yeah.
Okay, good.
The business part was tired.
Tiring, yeah. So is that your niece?
Yes.
In your picture?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes.
And how old is she?
She's 7 now.
Oh, okay. Fun. Do you get to see her a lot?
Yes. For evening, we were with her.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I was really missed
Mm.
her.
Yeah.
It wasn't enough, but it was nice.
Yeah. Yeah. She lives in a different town than you?
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Oh,
Because
okay.
I have one niece.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay, well, welcome. Hi, Raphael. How are you?
Hi, Liz.
Hi. So, what's happening with Carnival? Are you going to Carnival at all?
No, probably not this year. I have other plans for this carnival. I just stay home.
Uh-huh.
A lot of friends invited me to go to parties and everything. So, but unfortunately, I can't this year. Probably next year, maybe.
Yeah. So, I'm just curious, since you're living in Rio, even if you're at home, do you hear music and stuff going on, or is it in just one particular area of town?
No, no. There are several places in town where there are a lot of parties. So there's some groups of people go out in the street and like bands playing and everything. So it's
Okay.
interesting. It's fun.
Yeah. So, have you heard some music?
Yes, lots of music, but exactly here where I live,
Yeah.
there's no parties, but in other places there are several. There are so many.
Mm. Yeah. And I hear that there's, the carnival is the big parade with all the different samba schools, and they're like going by, and so that takes a long time. Did that already happen?
Yes,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
yes.
And
It's
people.
mostly
Yeah.
yeah. There are parades.
Mhm.
There's some schools, and there are also the how can I say the biggest parades. There were huge crowds of people
Yeah.
in streets. Not
Yeah.
exactly about samba schools, but
Yeah.
it's
Okay.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah. My cat wants me to keep petting her. Okay. Hi, Farah. The movie?
Yeah,
No, it's not out yet. Still,
okay.
I think it comes out like this week. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I've just seen the trailer. I've seen the trailer at the theater, and also just watched it again on this YouTube link, which is right there. Maybe we should probably watch that before we read this, because that will help. Because the article actually, talks about some parts of it, and it might be a little hard to understand. So let me just say hi. Hi, Andre. Is that your name? Is that how you say your name? I forgot because it's in Russian. I don't know. But you just came in. So if you guys want to go and let's just take 2 minutes because it's only 2 minutes. If you go click on that YouTube link and you can watch it, it's right here on this link. I can't show it over the Google Hangouts though. But if you can just go click on that and watch it, then we'll come back and we'll read the article. Is everybody okay with that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, Raphael. Firas?
Where is the link? Give me the link.
Yeah, do you see it in the verb link chat? If you click on that link, it'll open up a window for you. I can put it in the group chat also.
Okay.
Firas, how are you?
Hi, how are you, my teacher?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm
Firas,
fine. I'm fine. And you?
I'm good. And where are you from, Firas?
I'm from Iraq.
Uh-huh. Are you living in Iraq or are you living somewhere else?
No, I'm living in Iraq.
Oh, okay, great. All right, well, welcome.
Okay.
Okay, guys.
Welcome.
So we'll see if anybody else shows up. I kind of just picked up this class kind of last minute. I saw it was available. Chad is also teaching I think a vocabulary class or something like that. So if anybody shows up, they can join us. In the meantime, I have put the link already there, and I'm going to put the article in the screen share. I don't know if you guys had a chance yet to watch the trailer to this movie. Have you guys seen that at all?
I haven't seen it, but I watched the trailer.
You have before?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it wasn't on theaters now.
Right. Yeah, I think it's just coming out. It's not out still. It's
because
just
the cast is really nice.
Uh-huh.
You know, the actors.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen it. Have you?
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another hour of English classes here on Verbling.com. My name is Lisa, and I'm one of the English teachers here on Verbling.com. And in this hour, I'm going to be offering a reading class. So if you have a reservation for this class already, you can go ahead and use it now. You get to use your reservation in the first 2 minutes of every class. So here at Verbling, the classes begin on the hour, every hour. So every hour, we usually have 1 or 2, sometimes 3 English classes going at the same time. We also have Spanish classes. And so if you are a member of Verbling.com, then you can make a reservation for a class if you know you want to take a class at that time. Or you can just come by anytime you want and see what's available, see what's happening, what classes are coming up, and you can click on the Join Class button. You can see the cat back there. So welcome everybody. Hi there. Nihan, look who's back.
Hi, Lisa.
Hi. So you were gone for a while.
Yeah, for
working.
For 10 days.
Yeah.
Different cities.
Uh-huh.